It's just audio.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah.
No, I'll give you a soundbite about this.
Come on.
Dude,
You won't do a quick promo for my atheist show?
A promo for your atheist show?
Come on,
I'll tell you,
man.
I'm here at the I'm here at the atheist protest of the Ark Encounter.
Okay.
Hey, this is Eric Hovind. I'm here at the atheist protest of the Ark Encounter, and I'm here protesting this protest.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Welcome to Adam and Atheism. This entire 8th episode is going to be all about the Tri-State Freethinkers protest of the Ark Encounter in 3 segments. First, the protest itself. Second, what it was like going to the actual Ark Encounter theme park. And to wrap it up, I'll talk about the after-party rally that we had. Let's do this. What can I say about Eric Hovind that hasn't already been said about a festering, stinking pile of dog shit? If you don't know who Eric Hovind is, he's the son of Kent Hovind. If you don't know who Kent Hovind is, he was the asshole from years ago who would debate scientists that creationism was real. And the guy knew his shit. He had all the talking points, he had all the creationist arguments. Very well versed in creationism horseshit. And Eric Hovind is his son. Kent Hovind went to prison, I think for 10 years for tax fraud. So Eric Hovind took over the ministry while Kent was in prison. And he runs I think a YouTube show maybe, it might be on TBN, called Creation Today. And he does creationist videos. He goes to atheist events all over the country to fuck with and debate and argue with atheists. And if you ever heard this guy on a show, on any kind of podcast or anything, he's just a completely ridiculous, blithering idiot. Just the most obnoxious asshole who will say anything just to get under your skin. I don't even listen to him on podcasts anymore to debate or anything because he's such an arrogant, condescending fucking prick that it's nauseating to listen to this guy talk. Just because he's so dishonest and just so arrogant. Like, I hate ignorance, but my pet peeve above all else is not just willful ignorance. I fucking detest willful ignorance. But my biggest pet peeve of all time is the arrogant kind of willful ignorance. When you have all the information available to you and you immediately dismiss it and then behave like this arrogant, pompous, condescending fuck while spouting bullshit, like fairy tales are true. I hate that shit. So I hated that I was going to meet this guy, but when I did, something happened. He couldn't have been nicer in person. So that means either he plays a character on podcasts and shows when there's cameras around, or he plays a character when there's not. He's either a real fucking condescending, arrogant prick fuckstick in real life, but then plays the nice guy, like behind the cameras, or he's a nice guy in real life and just plays the character of a complete fucking cock when there's cameras around. So I was at the Tri-State Freethinkers organized a protest for the Ark Encounter today. The Ark Encounter is what's supposed to be a life-size replica of Noah's Ark from 4,000 years ago or whatever. It's this huge monstrosity, this fucking monolithic symbol of absolute ignorance and stupidity. So we protested that today. And Hovind came along. He came up from Florida with a few of his buddies. And I gotta admit, this was hilarious. It was a very, very dick-ass troll move. He brought 100 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. Now, he could have brought food from anywhere. He specifically chose Chick-fil-A, and I am 100% certain that he picked Chick-fil-A just to fuck with the atheists who were there. So he's trying to be acting like he's trying to be a nice guy and brought us food and shit, but it was Chick-fil-A, the fucking homophobes who donate to bigoted causes who trash gay people and try to take away their rights. So yeah, that I got to give it up. Well done, Eric. You you really outdid yourself with that one, buddy. That was very well played. That was hilarious. And what's almost as hilarious is that I didn't see a single fucking atheist eat a Chick-fil-A sandwich. Except for me. But that was after the protest was over and they had leftovers they were going to throw away. I'm like, fuck it. I'm not paying for it. I'll eat a chicken sandwich. Whatever. So I did. But other than that, the protest was amazing. I'm not sure how many people showed up. I'm going to guess right around 100. A lot of the bigger names in atheism were there. I saw Dave Silverman, David Smalley, Aaron Ra, Dan Errol, my buddy Callie Wright, Dan Barker was there, a lot of other ones, and you can find videos and shit of like Aaron Ra and Eric Hovind yelling at each other in debates and all that. So that was fun to watch. And also, I did something that I don't do anymore. I debated with some Christians. This is something that I used to do for a couple years, but I've actively avoided debates with Christians for the last probably 3 or 4 years because it just is a complete exercise in futility. A complete fucking waste of everybody's time. These people aren't debating to try to learn anything. That's completely different. If it's somebody who has questions or wants to talk about religion in a civilized, conversational manner where they're actually curious to learn some things, or if they want to have a genuine discussion, I am all about that. I will talk with Christians and religious people and people who are on the fence all day long if it's a civil discussion. When it gets to be an argument, a shouting match, a debate, quote, or whatever, I avoid the fuck out of those like the plague. It's a waste of everybody's time. Nobody wants to learn anything in those kind of debates. All they want to do is just yell about how they're right and the other side's wrong and you're going to hell and all this fucking stupid bullshit that was everybody's waste of time. But anyway, there were a few there who wanted... and let me preface this with, everyone was very, very nice as far as my interactions with them. I didn't have a single raised voice at me. I didn't raise my voice at anybody else, but there were a couple who wanted to come up and talk to me because they saw my shirt that says Adamant Atheism, so they know which side I stood. And I had some pleasant conversations, and I gotta say, I still got it. When it comes to debating Christians, I can still smash the fucking shit out of them. In a very polite, nice, and genuine way. I wasn't being mean or anything, I'm just saying, I know all their talking points, I know all their arguments, and I know all the counters to them. And while I don't think they were very receptive to my arguments, I was very satisfied with knowing that I didn't get stumped, I didn't even have to flex. I mean, I didn't have to try or anything. It was just as natural as it's always been. I crushed these motherfuckers with their ridiculous questions like, why do we protest? Why can't they just let them be and do what they do? And that's the point that needs touched on. People who ask me, why do we protest? They didn't understand why we protested. So a few of the answers I gave for this is why we protest is the number one reason, above all else, is that they're giving government funding going to religious organizations. Taxpayer money, government funds, aren't supposed to be allocated for any kind of religious purpose at all whatsoever. The government absolutely has to stay neutral when it comes to religious matters. They can't endorse or discriminate against. They can't give money from, they can't take money from. If the government didn't give these people money, $18 million, be exact, among so many other perks, I think they were given 100,000 acres from Williams County to build this fucking ark for $1. I think it was 100,000. It might be 10,000. Doesn't matter if it was 1 acre. It was. I think it was like 10,000 or 100,000 acres for $1 is what they got this for. Along with so many other perks and shit and incentives and $18 million in tax money. That's blatantly illegal. You can't fucking do that, so we protested. The second reason are their discriminatory hiring practices. In order to work for the Ark Encounter, you have to sign a statement of faith, which means that you have to be a straight person. You can't even be okay with gay people. You have to believe that they're evil. And if you're single, you're not allowed to have sex. And you have to believe in Jesus and all this, which means atheists, Muslims, gay people, transgendered people, everybody who's not a Christian is not allowed. Now, if that's not the absolute definition of discrimination, I don't know what the fuck is. So that's why we protest. The third reason is because of the anti-science aspect of it. Creationism, by definition, is anti-scientific. And if they want to have this shit and build it on private land with their own private money, there's no problem here. But a church, they're a fucking church by all standards that a church is. They're a church. They're a religious organization. A Christian church getting money. And it's promoting an anti-science agenda geared towards kids. Another question they would ask is, why are you protesting this? You wouldn't protest the Easter Bunny. You wouldn't protest Santa Claus. You wouldn't protest the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, you know why? Because there aren't huge fucking monoliths, theme parks, and attractions built for the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus and a Tooth Fairy. And if there were, that'd be fine, unless they were to receive a shit ton of state funding for it. And I would think that Christians would be right there with us. If the state gave Easter Bunny enthusiasts $18 million to build a massive statue of the Easter Bunny and a whole theme park dedicated to the Easter Bunny, they can build that if they want. But once the state starts dishing out millions of dollars, that's where we have a fucking problem. And also to Eric Hovind, while the guy is a complete asshole on shows and everything, at the end when the protest was starting to die down, he got up on his chair and started preaching again and said that he would buy, I think, up to 20 tickets for atheists to go to the actual Ark, which was right down the road from the protest. So that was pretty cool. I mean, at $40 a ticket, what is that? $800 the dude spent on tickets to the Ark Encounter? So that was pretty cool on his part, to just throw out $800 just to let us tour the Ark. So that was a protest in a nutshell. It was so awesome. All the turnout was amazing. The press coverage was amazing. The support we got from people driving by and honking at us and waving and smiling and giving us thumbs up, it was just overwhelming. There was so much support, so much love shown toward us. I didn't see any really detractors that were driving around booing or thumbs down. I didn't see any of that. I mean, there were people who were protesting our protest who were there. I'm just saying people who were driving by. It was nothing but love from what I saw. So everything about the protest was awesome, except for the Christians who were there trying to fuck with us. But other than that, as it was wrapping up, I thought I was just going to be leaving and going to the after party a few hours later, but Hovind decided to buy us all tickets, so we went to the Ark Encounter. That's what's up next. Our time at the Ark Encounter with Eric fucking Hovind. Check it out. Okay, so after the protest was over, I think I was there for around 3 hours, I guess. From about 11 o'clock till around 2 or 2:30. And right at the end, what I thought we were going to do was, my buddy and I, Matt Kovacs from Dayton, we rode together down there, and I didn't know if we were just going to hang out and just do something until the party, because we had 4 hours to kill, so didn't know what to do. So Eric Hovind, just out of nowhere, decided to buy 20 tickets to the Ark Encounter, and whoever wanted to go, could go. So fuck it, me and Eric went up there. I just drove up there, maybe half mile from where we were protesting, and we got there, and I gotta say, my first impression of this thing was that this will tank within a year. I'm going to give it, at best, 2 years, but I'm pretty sure within a year, this thing's going to go fucking bankrupt. Today was their grand opening, and they didn't have even half of that parking lot full, which I'll give it to them. I don't know why the hell you would do a grand opening on a Thursday. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Their numbers might increase over the weekend. But yeah, on their very first day, you would expect it to sell out or at least be overcrowded or anything, and it wasn't even close to being overcrowded. It wasn't even half full. And tickets there are for $40 a piece. $40 a piece, $10 for parking. So for one person to go, it's $50 fucking dollars. You take a family of four, that's going to be $160 plus 10 for parking, and you're going to spend at least $200 just going there for the day with your family. No way people are going to pay this to look at a goddamn boat that's not got any kind of rides, no kind of attractions. It's just a big-ass boat. And the inside, I mean, it's built well. It's really nice and all that inside. But it's not $200 interesting. It's not really that cool. So anyway, we get there. We get on the shuttle bus because from the ticket booth to the actual Ark itself is about a mile. So they just have shuttle buses going back and forth. And we get on there, and there's a guide on there who's answering questions. And I asked them if they're planning on doing anything else with the other land around there? And he said, yeah, they're going to build quite a few things.